Hey, this is George.
Hey, this is Fred.
This is Real Talk with George and Fraser. What's going on, brother?
Not much, brother. We're I guess gonna be a 20 minutes late today. Okay, you guys stuck in Chicago time versus our time. So you move around a little bit. So you be about 20 minutes late. So but you let me know. So we good. So what's going on with you, George? I see you got a slick back, getting ready to get for that weekend jam session. Listen.
No, not at all. Not at all, man. Just chilling. So that's basically it.
No business, no great news, no awesome take.
Nothing, brother. Nothing at all.
Nothing. Oh man.
Nothing at
Oh,
all.
what you got news over there in Jersey, man? What's the news in Jersey? Because Miami got stuff going on down here.
Well, man, look, I woke up this morning and my portfolio was down 15%.
Ooh, yeah. Ouch.
So, but it's all good because even though my portfolio is down 15%, it's still an excellent buying opportunity. I was looking to buy some Ethereum and I had some dollars that I had to deploy, so to speak. And I didn't want to buy it at $4,300, So it was just a sheer blessing that this whole thing went the way it went because I was able to get it at 36. Now you may say, okay, what's the difference between 43 and 36? It's not the $700 that I was looking at. It's the compound interest of what that $700 will do. So for instance, a lot of projections are like on the low end, Ethereum by the time this bull run is over is going to be somewhere around 10 grand. That's the low end. Higher projections see Ethereum hitting $40,000 before this bull run ends. And that's somewhere around October. So, that's a 10 times gain if it hits 40,000. You see what I'm saying? So you have to now times that $700 times 10. That's how much money you would leave on the table between buying it at 36 and buying it at 4,300. And even though I'm new to this crypto space, I still look at it like buying real estate. And the reason why I say that is because in real estate, all we try to do is double our money. If we put 25,000 in, we want 50,000 out. That's all we try to do.
That's it.
When you're investing in cryptocurrency, you have to understand two things. You have to understand volatility. It's highly volatile. And two, you have to understand capitulations and swings. So you have to understand that there's always going to be a 20%, 30% market swing up or down in certain market types. And in this bull market, you're seeing those 20 to 30% swings based on a lot of different things. Now, if you don't have a stomach for that, don't do it. But here's my thought process. All I'm trying to do is be like a real estate investor in cryptocurrency. So all I'm trying to do is get a 10% return monthly on my investment. That's it. That's the minimum. Why? Because I only invest in top 20 tokens, for my portfolio when it comes to my hardcore investment. When it comes to mid-range investment, so for instance, if I have $20,000, right? Mm-hmm. I'll break it up this way. 50% of that to maybe 70% of that will go towards my blue 20 tokens, right?
Exactly.
I'll take 30% of that, maybe 40% of that, and I'll put that into my mid-range tokens.
Exactly.
Okay. Down, right?
Yeah.
And then the last $2,000 or $3,000 I'll put in my low cap tokens. Why? For instance, token like SafeMoon. Okay, you can put $300 into SafeMoon right now and get over 33 million tokens. Why?
Yep.
SafeMoon is a project that's going to be a wallet, and it's also going to be a trading platform. It's going to be a few other things. Now, will you be able to recoup that now? No. SafeMoon is the first project that I've seen where major players didn't absorb all of the equity in the beginning and then just gave out the 10.
Exactly.
Can you hear me? My internet keeps going in and out.
I hear you doing my moves like folks like that. Yeah, it kind of froze a little bit though. Cut in a really bad predicament too. When I say so. Oh, here we go. Yeah, George had a problem with the internet. We all have that internet thing, don't we? But talking about the investment and stuff like that, whatever. You made very good points. Investing low, like you gotta learn up and down, put calls, stuff like that. Bull, bulls, stuff like you gotta learn, and it's easier to understand. So, I mean, best to do is do your diligent research. Research the crypto coins, research the stocks. If you're going to invest mostly in stocks, you must do your research. Sometimes people take years to research them. Sometimes people take a few minutes to research them. So it goes up and down. And one thing I learned, it's easier to buy when it's down than it is to buy when it's up.
All
Joy,
right, I'm back. Fraser, I
I see
apologize
you.
about that. My internet just went out for some strange reason.
Don't worry. I had a cut of educate the bull, the put, calls, the whatever, right quick, little brief. Tell them to do the diligent research so we can finish what you were saying when you're investing. So,
Yeah. Okay. So, what did you take two, right? So, what did you guys and the listeners hear about the investment? Did you hear about mid cap, high cap, low cap? Where did I stop?
we're talking about highs and lows, the puts, the calls, the bull. Tell us how to go on definitely do a diligent search. Make sure you research whatever stock you're going to buy before you actually buy into it. Learn it, understand it, what's the good, the bad, what it presents for weeks, 2 weeks, a month, what it would be like. And then you judge on that, decide if you want to buy high or you buy low. And that was just reference what you said about versus when you buy high and you buy low, the
All
percentage of
right.
you
Well,
winning.
let me address that real quick. Buying high and buying low. Um, a lot of the top advisors and people that you see on YouTube, there's a lot of people out there. Some of the main people are millionaires because of crypto. So you always, they have a saying called buying the dip. Every time the market dips like this, that's a great opportunity to buy because you're going to have those 20 to 30% swings.
Exactly.
So back to my portfolio, sample portfolio of how you spend, right? So I was saying before, you now have those low cap gems where you can,
Where you can. Internet can do
so
it. Huh? Uh, yeah, we explain the high, best buy high, best buy low. When you buy low, you get a better percentage in your return versus if you buy high. If you buy a stock, say at $120 a share, and it drops, the margin drops 30%, it goes down to $50 a share. If you buy it at 50 versus you buy it at 150, you actually put them almost getting return back almost 20 times more in percentage wise. And that was good return. Once you get the return, also it back more than 10%, sometimes triples, sometimes times 10, times 20. So you it's based on how you enter the market versus your profit margin. Like versatile real estate, where when you're buying a flip house, you know what you get into with damage. You know you got to put money into it in order to get money out of it. In stocks, you put money into hold versus percent times for it to grow. Percentage wise, some goes really fast, some goes really slow. Where real estate, you can sell a house really quick, or you take more time to sell it. It could take years to sell it, take more than that. But the whole time you still put money into it in order to for it to actually prophesy later on. Sometimes you probably like 10,000, 20,000. But in cryptocurrency, there's a possibility that you can put in $36,000 or $36. And when it goes up, say for example, Bitcoin. If when Bitcoin was there at $36 a share, nobody bought into it. Anything will go anything, won't go anything. But the ones who did get into it at 36 got putting up good shares. So now when it goes to 56,000 per share, if you had 300 shares, coin tokens, so imagine what you'd be like then. Now you're a multi-millionaire. I mean, that often don't happen all the time, but it does happen. You just gotta know when to get into the market and when to exit out of the market. Some people exit too early, some wait too late to get out of the market. So you gotta be prepared to lose also in order to gain. So what I mean by that is prepare to lose, but also prepare to gain. So when you put in, don't always expect a big return back, especially in a short period of time. Sometimes you have to think of hold a stock in order for it to progress and mature. Sometimes you gotta let it go when it's maturing. Anything is a high, and you believe that it's going not to go back any higher or go up. That's why I say do your search, do your research on it, look into publicists. They got a lot of people out here who does a lot of investing. Find a mentor. The best thing I can tell you to do is find an investor mentor. Somebody who been doing it for a while, somebody who understands the bull, the ups, the down, the circulation of how cryptocurrency works. Trading currency is not the same as trading stocks. So you gotta learn the difference between all that. So there's a lot of things you have to understand when you're investing. So for those who don't understand, who just get into investing and you just starting out, I mean, start out small, get your feet wet, test the market a little bit, buy, trade, buy some stocks, research some stocks. If you try to buy into the first top 5 stocks, you're gonna put some money out. Especially right now, where you got Bitcoin, one Bitcoin at 56,000. You don't have to buy all 56,000 to make a pretty good profit out of it, but you can make $100 here, $200 here. It come in. Pretty much change. Go to the grocery store. You can actually invest it and get a better return than let's sit in a piggy bank in your house. Or sometimes I'm not gonna quote money. I'm not a legal investor, but sometimes you get a better return than by putting money in a bank and getting that 0.0001% every year in growth, where you can put it in a stock and probably get 10% each month, or 10% a week, or 10% almost 20-30% in a year. So it's diverse between different times. So you got to depend on how you want to invest in it. So on that tip, if you need to invest, you got stuff like Yahoo Investors. That was that we go in there and give you tips. They have YouTube have a lot of good people investors who so they share their secrets, how they do things, where they when to buy, when not to buy. It's so much stuff you need to learn in order to be a successful investor. So on that note, George,
All
we're
right.
going over some details on buying high and low. We're gonna get you clarify what you said before. You got internet.
I do apologize. I had to reset my router real quick, so I guess it was a good thing the guest was late. By the way, we didn't say it in the beginning. We just started talking. Sometimes our shows are just live like that,
I
but
know, right? You just
we
gotta
have
go.
we have Butta the preacher on the show, so he'll be in 20 minutes late. So let me finish my thought real quick. So you have like blue chip tokens, top 20. You have mid range tokens, which would be the top bottom 20 to about 100, and then you have low cap tokens. That's anything from 500 down. Okay, and so the way that I've structured my cryptocurrency portfolio is I only put $1,000 to $2,000 into the low cap tokens because they're very, very, very risky. Like for instance, if you put $1,000 in, you're only putting $100 in to buy 10 projects because you only want one project that will really hit. So, for me, like I have BitTorrent, I have Moonshot, I have Safe Moon, I have even Shubi Inu. You know what I mean? But that only put $50 on this
Exactly.
because you have a harder possibility of losing your money in those types of low cap tokens. But if one hits, like just think about Doge. If you could have bought Doge coin 2 years ago for the money that you spent, you'd be a millionaire today. You know,
Exactly.
I spent $36, and before Elon Musk went on Saturday Night Live on Friday, that $36 it was worth $10,000. So those are the kind of returns that you're talking about in some of those low cap gems. And I bought Dogecoin last year. Last May, I spent $36.
Yeah.
So that's the potential that you see. So when you see guys spending, like a guy who spent $2,000 in Dogecoin last year, he would have been a millionaire today if he would have held. A lot of people I know sold at 8 cents and said, "Oh, I got in," but they
Yeah.
didn't ever think Doge is going to go to 71 cents, which it did. Now, a lot of people are predicting that Doge could
Yeah.
actually go to $1 before the end of this bull run, which
Yeah,
makes it better. So when
I
I
mean,
say,
I would say a greater chance of doing it if the rate is going now. It have a chance of actually making it. Before it wasn't. We were at 56, 40. No, I wouldn't have said. No, I wouldn't have said a dollar nowhere close. But now it's in the 70s, and it's growing. It goes up a little bit, then it goes down a little bit, but then it goes up bigger. So basically, doing it, it drop a little bit, you buy in, then when you go up a little bit, you gain. So basically, they're playing the market. They're pretty much playing the market favorable market for people who
well,
buy.
yeah, I mean, you got to understand that a lot of people that bought Dogecoin as a joke, like I said, put in 1,000, 2,000, ten
Yeah,
thousand, 20,000, 50,000 last year. Even some of the people that in January and February, when Dogecoin was 4 cents, 2 cents, they put $50,000 in. Those people that did that in January were millionaires in March. You see what I
exactly.
mean? And so, two things that you have to understand why it fluctuates and goes up and down. Depending on what currency, I mean, what token that you're into, the big investors and the people investing in cryptocurrency have to understand, they understand two things. They need liquidity. So let's say when Doge went to 70 cents, Dogecoin's market cap has a bigger market cap than Twitter,
Exactly.
has a bigger market cap than Ford Motor Company. That's how big that market cap is for Dogecoin. So you got a guy who's sitting on $10 million worth of Dogecoin. Let's say he knows that, wait, now's the right time for me to cash out because I'm cashing out at the top of the market and
Yep.
there's liquidity for me to get my money. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's what people don't understand. So that's why in cryptocurrencies, you see these highs and you see these lows because when people pull liquidity out of the market, it drops 30%.
Exactly.
When people add liquidity to the market, it goes up. That means that you have a lot of people. Like, for instance, what happened last night? My Elon Musk came out and said something about Bitcoin and Tesla. Tesla will not be using Bitcoin for environmental reasons to buy Tesla. The
Exactly.
price dropped 20%. Okay,
Yeah.
just like that. Okay, but what did other investors do? People were like, wait, hold on. Bitcoin's back down to 48, 47. I just
Buying.
bought another 15 million tokens of Bitcoin. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Exactly.
Because they know that Bitcoin during this season has the potential to do 90 on the low end, 120 in the middle, and
Yeah.
2 to 250 on the high end. Bitcoin. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so if you're not paying attention to that and you're just worried about I gotta do this, I gotta do
Yeah.
that, you're gonna have a problem. Now I'm not saying, see, I don't trade, I buy and hold. And the reason why I don't trade is because I don't know enough about trading. And I know that when you trade on certain margins, like for instance, you can put $5,000 into a trade, but have $100,000 leverage. Here's the
Exactly.
problem. If you miss that margin, right,
You
and you
lose.
have what's called a margin call, you're responsible for that $100,000. And
Exactly.
you're basically bankrupt after that. You're crushed if you don't have the $100,000 cash, you
Exactly.
know. But if you do have the $100,000 cash, you're cool. And so you have a lot of traders out there that are making big trades, $1 million trades, $10 million trades on Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, all these other things that that moves the market when it goes up or goes down.
Yeah, true, but
So
why I told you, you ever heard this case called? They have a call thing called the double cap, where the business is they will call it at a bit margin, but they also put a put on it at the same time. So what it basically was saying is, I know it can go up, but at the same time, I know it can go back down.
right,
So that's how they offset the cost. So say when you put that call, and you said 150, but you put a put at down same thing about 250. So you know it can go down a lot. So basically, if it goes down past the 150 mark and go to the 250, you actually made money off of
yeah,
it going down.
absolutely,
Then you turn around and put that back into the call where it did make money. It's gonna go back up. You see what I'm saying?
exactly,
It takes so now you're playing a double market. You're playing a double cap. So basically,
exactly.
you lose.
Exactly.
You
And
want to.
that's how traders, you have to realize that a lot of day traders from 5 years ago, 6 years ago, got into crypto trading. Okay. So that double cap that you're talking about, that's how when you hear somebody says, oh, they shorted the market or they did this
Yep.
or they played the market long, that's how they're manipulating the market. And so that's why you see, because you get more money in cryptocurrency when you're trading than you do stocks, That's
Exactly.
how people make money when the token goes up, and that's how they make money when the token goes down. You see what I mean? And that's
Exactly.
what caused the volatility, because cryptocurrency is really the only currency where you could have a 30% gain and
Yep.
people are taking their profits from that. And so that's why you don't have any major stability when it comes to that, you know. And it's an interesting thing because, like I said, to finish my thought in a roundabout way, I'm still looking at this like real estate.
Yeah.
You know, in real estate, you try to double your money. That's just two times your money. I'm just
Exactly.
trying to get 10% a month on my investments because I know that in 12 months I made 120%. That's my minimum. Now, what's going to happen in cryptocurrency? Most likely, I'm going to do not 10%. On average, my entire crypto portfolio will do over 100% a
Exactly.
month by its all time when it's all said and done. Why? Because last month in April, when I started this in April. I My entire portfolio was up by the end of April over 225%
Exactly.
out of the one, two, three, four, five, six, seven tokens that I invested in. A combined total of over 225%. All I was looking for was 10. You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So I go to bed at night fine. I wake up fine. I mean,
Right.
look, nobody likes to see these 10% dips where you lose, you know, $10,000 in 24 hours in your portfolio, but that's what it does. And as long as you're comfortable with that's what it does. And tip number two, as long as you're only investing the money that you are able to lose, you know, don't take a second mortgage, don't
Exactly.
sell your house, don't use credit cards. Okay, as long as you're investing the money that you're able to lose, you'll be fine. And the last tip I can tell anybody is use this strategy only in a bull market where we are. Because when we get to the bear market next year, because
Yeah.
the cycle is going to end, you're not going to be able to play these odds that you're playing now in a bull market because money's flooding into the market. In a
Exactly.
bear market, you have to be prepared to buy and hold for a longer time. And if you're trading, you have to be able to say, okay, I'm only trading on base points now because the market is low and there's nothing really else that I can do um, to make the kind of gains that I made in the bear market. I mean, the bull market. Why? Because what a lot of people don't know or understand is you really don't make your money in the bull market. The reason why you see a lot of people now that are millionaires now was because they invested 4 years ago in that bear
Exactly.
market.
In the bear market.
Right. So Cardano now that's up to 178 a token. Okay. They bought that at 2 cents. So when you look at their portfolio and they have 10,000 Cardano and that's worth, let's say, $1 million right now, just that one coin that they have. Yeah, because they bought it 4 years ago at 2 cents.
Exactly.
So if you come to this late, like I did, the goal is basically to make some money in this bull market. And then when the bear market happens next year, you buy all the stuff that you can get at a discount because that stuff will be worth its weight in gold for the next bull market that's going to start in 2024 and 20 the next bear bull market, excuse me, that's going to start in 2024 to 2025, and that's where you'll make your millions like everybody else is. So that's
Exactly. That's true. Because I ain't tell you, crypto. When I was going to crypto, we learned stock in high school, but we learned stocks. We learned nothing about crypto or currency trading. But crypto back then was called currency trading. Basically, was similar to it. You trade in currency over and over again in different markets, different countries. And Europe is very big. Europe trade stocks, but not where they trade currency. That's why you see people, oh, I trade American dollar for Italian for pounds, or I pay this for this, and got it went up and high. See, they may trade our money to get more money in their money, and they turn around and trade. Now they buy stocks, now they buy cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin got popular because of the fact they need another currency to buy. That's
Yeah,
really what Bitcoin in. They need something to buy something else. So Bitcoin with a few coins, say I ain't gonna buy a house with, I ain't gonna buy a car with, I ain't gonna buy anything. But it started in Europe, and you're the first one to buy. You go buy cryptocurrency to buy anything you want. America got into a later market. They started a lot of European countries started coming to opening their businesses over here. So now you start getting people. What are you currency? Yeah, I got 20 billion. Is it car with this? Oh yeah, 20 million cryptocurrency. You can buy the car.
Well, yeah, I mean, the thing
Right?
is that a lot of people didn't understand what it was. Look, even I didn't, because every time I looked at Bitcoin as an investor, so people know, even last year, even Ethereum, I could have got Ethereum for almost dollars as opposed to the thousands of dollars that I spent to buy Ethereum now. But I was like, I can't afford that. When Bitcoin was $10,000, I was like, I don't have enough money to buy one Bitcoin. You see what I
Exactly.
mean? I didn't understand that if I bought one Bitcoin last year, I would have $50,000 today. You
Yep.
see, that's five times your money. You see what I
Exactly.
mean? And so, if you, like I said, if you flip in a house and if I'd have put $25,000 on Bitcoin when Bitcoin was $63,000, I would have made $250,000 selling it in one
Exactly.
year. That's 1 year worth of house flipping for me. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Just for buying Bitcoin.
That's what I'm saying. If you look at it, when you like you said, when you flipping the houses, you putting money into the house. And say, for instance, you can't sell a house within 6 months. So
That's
now you
it.
got to put more money into it in order to keep the house still standable to do sell it. Where crypto, you making money that time you're waiting. 1 month make money, second month make money, third month making money. We're total opposite.
Yeah, but not all the time either. I
Exactly.
mean, let's tell the fans that. I'm sorry we got on this crypto rave, but this is near and dear to my heart because I'm excited about it, because this is the first time where ever in the last 100 years that you're going to be able to see one of the greatest transfers of wealth from the big institutions and all the people to the little person. You just have to
Yep.
understand, when I say little person, the little guy, a guy like myself, where you have to understand where certain tokens can be sent to the public, to the community, to the ecosystem, and it's not hoarded by the masses or people that create IPOs. In crypto, they're called ICOs. You know, and once you get in and you get in at a decent price, that's where the wealth is generated, because you don't make your money on the end, really. You make your money in the beginning. You know,
Exactly.
like I said, you spend $300 and you get 33 million Safe Moon tokens. You see what I mean? 2 or 3 years from now, when Safe Moon uh, is out, it's running, it's up, people see the value, everybody's moving, and the market cap raises to a point where people look and go, wait, hold on. Here's a little secret that people don't understand. The Safe Moon for market cap, right? The market cap for Safe Moon right now is over $7 billion. That's the market cap for Safe Moon. Okay, $7 billion.
Billions.
All right. So when you look at that, and then you look at, say, okay, well, what does it need to get to here, get to that? It doesn't get that much. By the time SafeMoon gets to a 17 billion or 20 billion market cap, you're going to see that price of that token increase in ways that people are not going to believe. And there's still going to be money to make money. Don't get me wrong,
Yep.
but you're going to have to spend a little bit more money to make that money. So what does that mean? Every time SafeMoon loses a zero. Right now it's at 5 zeros, right? Every time you lose a zero, that means that you have to, okay, so the market cap, excuse me, for SafeMoon went down by 13%. I'm looking at coinmarketcap.com. So now SafeMoon has a market cap of $4.1 billion right now as I'm talking to you today. Okay. But that being said, for a coin that started in March, to have a $4.1 billion market cap is amazing. It's
Exactly.
absolutely amazing. So, what I'm saying is, you have a lot of opportunity. So, like I said, I spent $300 and I got 33 million SafeMoon token, right? That same $300 at 5 zeros, if I wanted 33 million tokens and it goes to 4 zeros, I would have to spend $3,000. If I wanted 33 million tokens and it goes to 3 zeros, you see what I mean? I would
Exactly.
have to spend that instead of 3,000, I'd have to spend 30,000. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And if I wanted to get 33 million tokens and it was at 2 zeros, I would have to spend a lot more money than that. Every time you lose a zero, you have to spend a zero, so to speak.
Exactly.
So 300, 3,000, 30,000, 300,000 is the math. And so
That's true.
that's where you get your opportunity.
And as you said, that's the perfect time to get into it because if you look at it, and I know someone heard that somebody did sometime too, that somebody do it try to buy you out before it goes to a bigger market in order not to be a bigger payout. So some people come, hey, I offer you Hey, sell me this amount right here, or sell me this amount, so I want to pay so much amount out. That's if you do in a company. But a crypto is different. That's the best part, like crypto, because they're not gonna do that to you. Your stock is yours. Like if you
Yeah,
Apple have 3 million Apple, they go public. They're not gonna let you get 3 million shares of that. No, they're gonna try to
no.
buy you out while at the penny stock and try to buy you out before they go to public. So they want to
Well,
pay that
that's what a
money.
lot of people do in the stock market too, because if you're heavily invested and they start at pennies, and when I say pennies, I'm talking anything from 1 penny to
Exactly.
99 cents. Okay. They manipulate stock, they manipulate the stock by adding in the stock market and subtracting, right? And they do the same thing in cryptocurrency. That's where you get a lot of those swings. But in the stock market, it's more prevalent because if you got a guy who doesn't have a lot of risk tolerance and he just watches his portfolio dip by 30% in the stock market, he's going to sell.
Exactly.
Whereas he doesn't realize or understand that if you hold that for longer, it's going to be worth more than selling now because you're worried about losing your entire investment, you know? And
Exactly.
that's why when you see a lot of people that are in the stock market come to crypto, they don't have the stomach for it or the realization that's like this volatility is here, even in the top 20 stocks. You just have to be prepared for it,
Exactly.
and that's why you see a lot of people on YouTube or experts saying, look, if you're not prepared for those 20 to 30% swings, you know, don't get into crypto because it's very, very, very stressful
Exactly.
if you're not prepared for that. If you are prepared for that and you understand cycles, you understand the projects that you're into, you understand markets. And here's a tip: you buy on the rumor and you sell on the hype and you learn how to take profits, you'll be very successful. You're very
That's true.
successful.
That is true. And sometimes too, you also play the hype too to your advantage. Also,
Oh,
you can
yeah.
sometimes you buy on the hype and double and flip it at the same time because say somebody really want to get in and they can't get in, and you got stock on the high, even though you bought on a high note, some people still were willing to buy it on a high note.
That's
That's why
right.
you see the stock market always concentrating even on a high because they know if they got 500 shares over here, but they got trying to get in, can't get in because they closed the market. So guess what? That 500 shares you got now is worth twice as much to somebody who's just trying to get in.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So he gonna pay double it. He may not get, you may not see it, but he gonna pay double on it just to buy them 500 shares.
Oh,
You see
yeah.
what I'm saying? But
Absolutely.
that's the back end of it. They don't tell you about in the stock market, where they sell they call it the back end market, where it's the black market of stocks, where they sell shares who people can't buy into. So say like George, you're a doctor, and
No, I
you
understand. They're holders, and so the corporation has these shares, and even then they do it in crypto where they have these tokens, and a certain amount is held for either the engineers, the developers, the partners, everything. And they have a contract that says for the next 5 to 10 years, you can't sell these stocks or you can't sell these. Why do you think a lot of times when they get done with that IPO and pre-IPO process, a lot of the people that got in the beginning, the initial investor that put that $1 million in, why do you think he's itching to sell
yep,
his investment, his assets? The reason why he's itching to sell is because he knew that that $1 million that he put in could make him $100 million or half a billion dollars. Look
exactly.
at the people who created Coinbase. Last month, when Coinbase finally got listed on the stock exchange, all the holders of Coinbase were instant billionaires. I didn't say million, instant billionaires because they held a majority of the tokens. Now, all those people who still are holding those tokens, they have written agreements where they can't put $1 billion worth of a Coinbase stock or tokens on the market because it'll destroy the market. So they have to hold for years, and then in the contract they say, okay, now you can sell 10%. Now you can sell this, so they don't destroy or flood the market with tokens that would change it. So that's
That's
the game that a lot of people are playing when it comes to building these particular projects, and that's why, like I said, you got to get in the beginning, and that's what makes cryptocurrency investing, because a lot of projects are not going through this ICO process and pre-ICO process. They're going directly to the community that they built. So it's definitely all good.
exactly.
So that's enough of us yammering. Right now we have Butta, the preacher, with us. Hey, welcome to Real Talk, brother.
Man, what's going on,
What's
man?
going on, brother?
We
Hey, can
appreciate
y'all
you
hear me?
being with us. Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Man,
You
what's going
really
on?
good, bud.
Well,
Man,
we
I'm sorry
appreciate
it's
you.
late. I
Yeah.
forgot we on a whole nother time frame.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Sometimes it happens, but listen, we appreciate you being with us, man, and taking the time to talk and coming on the show. Tell the fans and listeners a little bit about yourself and your background if they haven't heard of you.
Man, if you don't know me, I'm Butta the preacher, also known as Michael Watson. I'm an actual minister, actual preacher. So when you hear the name Butta the preacher, it's not just a stage name. It's actually what I do, carry out ministry. I've been in the ministry for about 6 years, going on 7. From Gary, Indiana, originally born and raised from Gary, Indiana. 32 years old, gospel hip hop artist. Most people know me from my music videos. It's on BET. Um, Gospel award winning artist as well, Kia Image Awards, Kingdom Image Awards, and things like that. So people see me in Source Magazine, run across my face on social media a lot. So just a quick synopsis of who I am: a man with a powerful testimony that like to share the gospel, man, that's in love with Christ.
Absolutely. Well, we definitely appreciate it. Fraser and I are both saved, Holy Ghost saved, so we understand that, and we'd like to share that as well too.
Exactly.
That being said, do you mind sharing your testimony a little bit that led you to ministry?
Yeah, it's a few things, man, that led me to ministry. One in particular, when I realized that I had a purpose in life, is when in 2010, when I was 21 years old, man, I was shot 9 times and left for dead. My best friend get killed right in front of my face, and at that moment in time in life, when I was fighting for my life, left in the alley, man, in my city, probably about, I can say about 30 yards from my house where I lived at the time. And I remember laying on the ground and asking God to, you know, forgive me and give me a second chance and do things better, do things right. And, it's easier to submit when you're in pain, surrender and things like that. But I felt a covering come over me at that moment, it gave me that security and assurance that you will be okay. That's not the time. And, of course, I healed up and things like that. And as being a young man, reluctant and not really having no direction, not having a father coming up in life, I just went down to another spiral, I say.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2014, this is when the awakening happened. Like I was having a hunch for like a while. I can say about for weeks. That was, I could say months actually. I
Right.
was going to nightclubs. I was doing secular music, and I like, man, I feel a hunch of something like I'm
Yeah.
called a preacher or something. It was something greater than what I was doing at the time. It wasn't really. It was
Right.
spiritual. I said, man, I feel a hunch, man. God is pulling me to do something. I don't know if it's preaching. I don't know if it's a deacon. I don't know if it's just, I don't know what it is, but he pulling me to do something that's out of this world. And I prayed a prayer to God, July 23rd, 2014, the prayer I never forget. I said, God, whatever it is you want me to do, I'll do it. Wherever you want me to go, I'll go. Wherever you want me
Mm-hmm.
to be, I'll be it. Next day, I get up. This time I have braids in my head and things like that. I get up going to get my hair done or something like that. Man, I got a flat tire. I get out and check my tire on my car. Been down, checking the tire, trying to get some fix it flat in it. Boom! I wake up, man, in Christ Advocate Hospital. On my
Mm.
Christ
Oh,
Advocate
wow.
Hospital, on the helicopter. I had a flat line, been brought to life. And when I got to the hospital, they ask you names to make sure your cognitive is okay. So they ask you what's your name, what time it is, and all this other stuff. And the guy had asked me, he said, hey, what's your name? I said, I just told him I was a preacher. I ain't preaching sermon a day in my life.
Right.
I know when
Exactly.
I woke up, I know the enemy had an attack, had a plan to try to shut my mouth and take me out.
That's right.
First thing I said was, out of anything I could have told him, I could have said my name, Michael
Yeah.
Watson, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And called my parents. I said, I'm a preacher. And that was my declaration. And since I said it that day on that bed, I've been doing it ever since. I ain't
Mm-hmm.
stopped. And I accepted that call and then because God showed me. You know what I'm saying? This is the purpose. It was like, it was crazy. People like, how you call it the plan and the purpose? It was like a thorn in the flesh. It was like, I'm showing you now.
Exactly.
And it's a brand new. When how I looked at before, I had my eye popped out of the socket, man. Face needed multiple surgeries. And God did a fantastic job with his healing. I ain't do
Right.
nothing fancy after that. No fancy oils and anything. The trust of God to heal, man. And since that day in 2014, I've been preaching this gospel, changed my music from rapping about dope to rapping about hope, rapping about rifles, rapping about the Bible. And God has catapulted my ministry to a level, man, I never even thought it'd be right now.
Well, let me ask you the question.
Wow.
Don't you find that interesting every time we
Yeah.
sit here and we take our what is it called, our Jonah type of attitude, and we always do what we want to do. The Lord always finds a way to correct that and get us back on task. And the flip side of that is the devil always tries to take us out to get us out of that task. So he'll either
Exactly.
dry up the money. You know, he'll put you through a divorce. Your kids will start acting up, or Fraser and I are in real estate, so all of a sudden, tenants are giving
Yeah.
you problems. Everything that happens to
Yeah.
get you unfocused on what God has in store for you, and that testimony is just amazing because, you know, how do I say this? It's if you don't say it, they won't believe it. Like
Yep.
that story right there that you just said, they will not believe it that actually happened the way that it happened,
Exactly.
because it's an unbelievable, unimaginable
Pushing
type
away.
situation. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it
Exactly.
always happens in the weirdest way, man. And that's the good sign though. Good sign is God. He don't do things in the way we expect him to do it. You know, we just
Exactly.
go wake up and then that's how I awaken and we woke up, God just gave it to us. It's gonna come
Exactly.
through the
Right.
It might come through, it may come through some kids, it may come through the loss of a loved one.
Right.
But that's how he do, man. His math is different. He adds and subtract.
Right.
And we think that we losing stuff that we actually gaining. I done gained more wisdom.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're right.
Yeah.
You're so right.
I done got a scar on my mouth, but I gained a better mouthpiece. I done got a bruise over my eye, but I gained a better vision.
Right.
I lost some things cosmetically, you know what I mean, in the flesh, but in the spirit, man, I'd have gained much more. And it's also with Job. So, man, we is the Bible. He give us we walk the word. You know what I'm saying? We live that word. And sometimes I might be the first Bible person ever saw. You know what I'm saying? I'm a scripture somewhere to somebody.
That's
It's my
right.
line up with the will of God or what he got.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Absolutely.
You're so true. And my thing is, I like the fact that you approach while using rap because it's good for the new generation. Because new generation, that is what they're thriving on. That is what they're into. And most churches try to find a way to reach the youth. Try to find a way to get to the new era, the millenniums, and all of them to get a message to them. And by saying that, is like, how do you feel like your message through your rap, through your music, and through your testimony is affecting the millenniums as you see it?
Yeah, well, when I first started, I wrestled with it. I said, man, I did street music. I said, God, what is it? What kind of addition I can add to my ministry that's going to target the youth outside of the pulpit?
Mm-hmm.
Kids don't come to church like they used to when we was kids. We had no
That's right.
time. I say go to church, we going to church.
That's
It wasn't. Now they got a choice to stay at home and be on TikTok or the Xbox. So I said, how can I reach these people outside the four walls? That's how they gave you the gift already, but you use it in the wrong way. Many times you got the gift, but with the wrong method. So I implemented Christian hip hop in my music. Man, this is just, I'd say about 3 years ago. And I was like, okay, when I did it, I said, okay, how can I bring it to them in a way when it's not just inspirational music, but really gospel hip hop? I want the gospel in it. So I got down sermons and making songs out of it. You know what I mean? So they learning these scriptures by default now because they playing these songs.
Right.
They reciting this word and they reciting the scripture, not knowing that you really reciting this scripture every day. You bumping this music,
Right.
and it becomes a part of your nature. You know what I mean? It's a lot of good people that say I'm making gospel music, but it's just really music, just inspiration. It's good. It's a good message. Good stuff. But what is it? What kind of biblical principle do your message hold? So when I did that and added that, I believe my music is really helping our generation because it draws them closer to Christ on a level that they can't get from a preacher that's just preaching an exegete sermon or just a standard sermon or something like that. It's a sermon piece. You know what I'm saying? I ain't changing the message. I just changed the method.
Right.
Paul said, I become all things to all men, so some may be saved. So we got to know how to improvise, man, and know how to adjust in our season, in an era that we are living in. You know what I'm saying? We want to move around with this mentality to reach the people with a typewriter mentality. We can't move like that.
Right.
You know, exactly. Instant gratification. You got to hit them boom, 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 boom. Some people didn't believe in phones should be in the church. So ministry. How these kids record a sermon and type in certain things they like in the sermon and hashtag and pound it.
Right.
Get engaged in it in some kind of way. And this is the way I get them engaged in the word is through my music.
Right.
And so far, it didn't reach 80 million people all over the world.
Right.
You know, obviously, it's getting somewhere if BET and other big networks has put it on their broadcast, man, and spread it out there. You know what I mean?
That's
Absolutely.
With this,
Absolutely.
well, you guys, every platform that's presented to me, give me some kind of confirmation. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's a need for the gospel everywhere, and in whatever form you can give it, that's what you give it. Everybody ain't born. Everybody preach the word in a way they can preach it. With doctrine and things like that. Give it in the way that God has gifted you to give it. It may be
Right.
musician, whatever you can do. You got a way to get a word out. You know what I mean?
That is true.
Absolutely.
And
And with the
being
internet, with the internet, and I think the silver lining with COVID is COVID made everybody become uncomfortable.
exactly.
Because you have people that say, oh, well, if you're not in church with the people, then you're not in church. Streaming was taboo and it was almost profanity until COVID made us stream. What they didn't understand was, when the Bible talks about where one or two are gathered, that could also be in the spiritual atmosphere as well, too, where we can touch and agree and speak that into fruition, but COVID forced us to sit down and change our mind and our thought process. And like you said, 80 million people are listening to your music all around the world. And you haven't changed how'd you say, you didn't change the message, you changed the method. You see what I'm saying? And that's just unique because it just definitely works out and it's through the roof. But let me ask you real quick, is that what you see, what's wrong with gospel? A lot of artists want to coexist, so they want to make it inspirational as opposed to what the message is really about.
Yeah, if you calling yourself gospel music, it has to pertain to the gospel. It's like I'm doing rock and roll, but I'm not rocking and rolling any kind of my music.
Right.
Exactly.
It's served no purpose. You know what I'm saying? So it's good to have music that's good conscious music. It's a need for something, each area. Everybody that might want to listen to gospel songs all day. Might want to put on something that gives you some inspiration while you're working out, at the end of the day, when you label yourself as a gospel artist, you don't want to compromise the standard of the word.
That's right.
You don't want to take to, you don't want to add from it. And
Exactly.
it's holy. And when you do it, it's sacred because you actually preaching. You know what I mean? I don't just get on songs to anybody because you say I'm a gospel artist. I look at it as an engagement. Like if I go preach at another church, it's like fellowship. And you can have anybody come preach in front of your flock. So when I get on the song with you, you're not about to witness to my audience with perversion or anything that's not right. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Everything is not sound doctrine. Like I say, everything that sound good ain't sound. Because it sounds good don't mean that it's good.
Right.
Like, that tastes good don't mean it's good for you.
That's right.
That is true.
Yep.
That is so true.
Yep. Because it tastes good. It's a good beat. Man, look, these guys, man, Nebuchadnezzar had these guys worship. He said, I want y'all to worship and I want y'all to celebrate to the sound, not just the lyrics. He wanted them to celebrate to the sound of it. And we got to be careful, man, what we listen to because, man, the enemy got a way of attacking us just through this music thing.
That's
and
right.
It ain't got to be the lyrics. It could be the sound. If it's not made of a good spirit, man, it's not of God. It got to be done in the spirit of excellence. So I'm very diligent about who I do songs with. I might not have a lot of features, but the ones I do get, I'll be around by God.
All right. And can you talk about that? Sorry, Fraser, real quick, just about the comfort measure of it, because music is the language of the world. Everybody, a song that you hear can take you back. Fraser, I got you. That's why we hosting the show together. You know what I'm saying? I got you. But back to my question and my thought process real quick. Music is the language of the world. And like I said, sometimes you can listen to a song and it can take you back and all these other things, but it can be very manipulative as well too, whether it's from a beat or anything like that, because I also believe too, you have to be careful of what you listen to, because sometimes what you listen to can take you to a place where you didn't intend to go, but it puts you there. You know what I mean? So could you elaborate a little bit more on that? Because I know you said you don't listen, when you're working out, but I listen to gospel when I work out because that's my inspiration as well too. You know what I mean? I'd be very careful of what I put into my ear, because sometimes what I put in my ear can be repetitive, that it's in my spirit for weeks on end. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yep. What you put into your ears, man, is what you put into your mouth. I tell people, what you put into your mouth is what you put into your belly. And vice versa with the ears. It goes up. With the belly, it comes down. And when you got that stuff on your mind, man, it become a part of your thought process. What you think is what you start to do.
Exactly.
As a man thinks, so he be. So we have to be protective of that. You know what I'm saying? We got to cover ourselves, man, with all armors of the spirit, man. The helmet of salvation, breastplate of righteousness, every single thing. And like I say with the kids, the drill music, they call it demon time and things like that. And they don't even really understand a concept of what they really putting out there, due to they just hear it a lot and it become a part of their thought process. So my music is made to detoxify those who got that thing in their mind about, because it sounds like it's secular music.
Right.
The way I bring it in. It's a similar sound, like, oh, this beat Butta got is nice, it's knocking. But it's gonna be biblical principle on that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, man, it's a warfare. And like I say, the good thing you listen to that workout music while you listening now. I might listen to an artist that maybe a secular artist, but it's a conscious song. You know what I'm saying? Something that pumps me up, get me going. Every rap song that's not Christian songs is not bad songs.
Right.
These are poets. You know what I'm saying? And I don't listen to anything about killing nobody when I'm working out. That's not my purpose of working out.
Right.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people out there. I agree with you. Talib Kweli, who has a message that you want to listen to. That's, even instrumental into development of the consciousness today.
Exactly.
Like you said. So all music is not bad music. But when you're talking about denigration, when you're talking about a few other things that you kind of put into your spirit, and then all of a sudden you start repeating that's where I feel like it can be very detrimental to your spirit, because you're creating these blocks. And like I said, for me, the reason why I started listening to gospel is because that's my inspiration. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm moving. There's some songs that I used to listen to when I was young, mid 20s, that I can't listen to now, because that song will stay in my spirit and it'll start to change me and put me back into that mindset of 29, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, yo, son, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Me and my wife is like, what's wrong with you?
Dude,
you don't even sound right. Right? Why are you talking to your son like that? What's going on? You know what I mean?
Songs back from back then, before we was converted over. Notice the songs back then that was secular, that was keeping us pumped up. Notice how it never left the mind.
Right.
If the beat comes on, we know the lyrics right. The lyrics.
Right. That's right.
Exactly.
I know the ad libs, and I ain't heard the song in over 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Right. Things like that. And by default, you could be on the radio and ride past and go be browsing through, something will come on and trickle up. And we still live in your flesh. And your flesh, it wants something that it always not supposed to have anyway. That's right. You know what I mean? That's why we crave for certain things, crave for certain appetites. When the doctor tells us our insulin is high, the body say, okay, I hear that, but I want some sugar.
That's exactly.
Right. We always at war. And I feel like music is one of the biggest ones that we don't pay attention to. Right. Guys get killed for sneak dissing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't get killed because he shot somebody's house up or disrespected somebody. He got killed for sneak dissing or dissing somebody in the song.
Right.
It keep going on and on and on. And that just came from the source and the power of the music he was putting out. You know what I'm saying? His message, he died behind a message.
Exactly.
He died behind a message. Let it be the gospel.
Right. That's so true. Like, I'm gonna say this because Common got penalized for a lot of rappers saying he's not a true rapper because he don't rapperize stuff that about life or gang bang and stuff, whatever. He started rapping stuff to inspire people and realize what's really going on in the community and stuff. He lost a lot of record deals from that. He wasn't very marketable for a while. Like, how do you affect taking to the industry that's saying like gospel rap is okay, but it's not a marketable aspect for us to market to the young people? Like, how do you deal with that? Do you market yourself? Do you try to search out people who actually seek out gospel rappers to market your music? Like, how do you do that?
Like I always tell us, I don't want to be nowhere where God don't want me to be. Number one, people have to realize, even artists, God did not create the music industry. That's a man thing. That's a job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we can't be so offended that secular music is doing better than gospel music, anything like that. Your job is just to put out the message. Right. We're not in it for a personal gain. I tell people this, man. I'd rather save 1 million souls before I sell 1 million records.
That's
right. About gospel artists, I can speak for myself. My intentions of the reward I wanted or what I want out of it is different. If I wanted to do songs with some of these guys, I can do them. I was just in the baby studio in Charlotte 2 months ago in his house, and I recorded a song in there, and it was a gospel song. I'm the first gospel artist to record a song in this man's studio, and that just happened for the default of me being stranded in Charlotte. They managed like, but the preacher, oh man, I see on Instagram you was in Charlotte. Come over to the studio. I did a song with Dwayne Woods, who made the song "Let Go and Let God." Me and him just did a song. It's on my album that I just released, and that's the first time he ever got on a song with a Christian hip hop artist. I create situations for guys to do things that's new. So I don't want to hop in a room or force myself into a room, with some folks that can get me to a higher place, but for the wrong reason, for the wrong purpose.
Right.
So when I got selected for BET, that was all self-push. I give credit to God and glory to God, but he gave me the division and he gave me the resources to make certain moves. I'm an investor. I got a restaurant, barbershop, clothing lines, and things like that. So God has blessed me to have the resources to get my music in places I want them to be. And it should be gospel music should be big. It should be prevalent.
Right.
But
Right.
it takes somebody to shift that atmosphere, and we don't have enough people. I say we don't have a stronger community as the secular crowd do, because people are intimidated by what people will say about them. It's just like preaching, man. The gospel is something that's people real funny about, you know.
Exactly.
Right.
But somebody got to push the message, and
Right.
that's what I'm doing. I'm just getting started, man. Like I say, the next year and a half, 2 years, man, the door gonna be open for more artists to come in and feel comfortable rapping about Christ. Guess a lot of these guys that saved making secular music, they love
Right.
God, but they feel like, man, I got to compromise so I can feed my family, and that's the only message right now that's relevant that's gonna get played. It's the only record that's going on the charts. It's funny how I made it to number 18 on the charts. No record label, no promoters, man, just me, my small team that we got, and the favor of God.
Amen.
God's favor will put you in places man could not take you.
That's right.
And I've been there. I got plaques on my wall, man,
Exactly.
for things that you see on my page and things like that, man. Records being spent over millions of times. And that just come from just trusting God and asking him, where you want this music to go? How
Right.
far you want it to stretch in this season, what it is. And God he gonna lay that agenda down, man. And I'm just looking for more and more expansion with it as I keep going on and going on. But the industry was not created for us in the first place. We
Right.
got to create our own.
Well,
Right.
listen, we're running out of time. We definitely want to have you back. It's
Yeah,
because
you gotta have you back.
entrepreneurs, we
Definitely.
want to talk to about your barbershops. We want to talk to you about a lot of different things. Like I said, Frazier and I are also entrepreneurs as well, too, getting the message out and a lot of other things. Where can they find your album that you just talked about?
iTunes, please go get the My Story album, man. It's a powerful album. Industry artists is on there. Industry producers is on there. Go get it. PJ Morton producing tracks on there. A lot of good guys, man. So it's on iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, all social media, all digital music outlets. You'll get My Story, Butta the Preacher, man. Let's get this album charting. I also will be in the running again for the Kingdom Hip Hop Awards this October as well. So you can vote for me next month, I believe. The ballot will start. I put it on my Instagram at Butta the Preacher also as well. Gmail, Butta the Preacher. I'm looking forward also to cross it over into the Stellars next year as we get the ball rolling.
Well, I'm gonna say something this though. Since you said a message, we might get a taste of gospel rap on a Real Talk. So we can spread it more. Cause we're gonna play it over and over again. And I want that to be played with it.
That's right. Just a couple bars.
Yep. Man. Y'all want some bars, you said?
Just
Yeah, give us a bar, man. I take 8.
couple.
I take 816.
Just eight.
You take
You said 816. I want 24. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Y'all put me on the spot like that.
8.
I'm gonna put it on the spot, man. We doing freestyle. I ain't even gonna do it. So they gonna put me on the spot like that. People about to hear me now and realize I didn't know he was hot like that. Album came out. When it dropped like that, it's like Tupac, but he ain't shot right back. I'm coming better than that. They call me
That's
Butta,
right.
get the cheddar, it's whatever. It's hot, but I'm gonna bring that summer weather. Shoot, I'm real clever with the bars. I told y'all, man, I'm shooting for the stars. I get God the glory, shooting like Rob Ory. Go ahead and download that My Story. Go player. I already told you, I'm go slayer. I already know, like Keith, I'm go slayer. Shout out to George and my boy Frazier, knocking these boys out, dog, like George and Frazier. Shoot, I'm balling like the Blazer. My favorite team, the Lakers.
That's right.
Gators. Thank y'all. And I thank God for all his favor. See y'all later.
Amen.
Appreciate you, brother.
Peace.
Appreciate you.
You know we got love for you. Listen, come on back so we can talk about some of those other things as well too.
Yeah, let's
Now
get
that
it.
we got the time right.
You family now,
Absolutely.
brother.
Yes, sir, man.
Family
Bless
now.
y'all.
We definitely appreciate you being on the show, brother. We're definitely gonna have you again.
God bless y'all, man.
Absolutely.
God bless you, brother.
Yes, too.
Phrase.
Man,
It
that
was
was a
worth.
banger, man.
It was worth the wait, brother.
That was
It
worth the wait.
wait.
That's what I'm talking about.
So,
I told you, Joe, we got them bangers, man. I told you.
absolutely. So that's our show. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. I hope you paid attention to a little bit about investing, but I hope you stayed for the message that came today. So check us out. We got a show coming up tomorrow as well, too. So check out our social media for that. Hey, this is George.
Hey, it's Fred. Get that
Real
album.
Talk with George and Fraser. Peace.
Peace.